Is for somewhat small groups of people to have input. But it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy to participate in those, and it doesn't provide very well for broader public input to this. So we want to find ways to bring that broader public input into the planning process. So what we're suggesting is that that could be achieved through things like meetings or workshops. And so the PNCIMA Forum, for those of you that know about it or perhaps were there, is an example of a large publicly accessible meeting. We may also have workshops that are focused on very specific topics where we bring together interested parties for 1 or 2 days to examine what we know about that topic or develop recommendations about that topic. And so an example of this is that workshop that I mentioned on socioeconomic and cultural information. We were developing a report to summarize that, and we invited the public to help us identify the information that should be a part of that report and identify the important trends in different values, whether they be socioeconomic or cultural. So on top of all that, we also know that many people are using the website or the web for accessing information. It can also be used as a way for you to provide input to the process. So we're asking you, how do we make effective use of the internet to do some of these things? And we have ideas like online meetings or polls and surveys that would allow people to provide input and to stay informed about what's happening and keep up to date. And also asking the question for those of you that are either not very comfortable using the internet or don't have good access to the internet, what are the other ways that we can communicate with the public beyond the internet that are going to be effective for you? I already mentioned it, but I'll just say it again. There is a lot of information that's already available on our website, so that's one way to certainly stay informed about what's happening. So in terms of what happens after this meeting, this is one of 9 meetings like this up and down the coast. And once we finish those 9 meetings and we hear from people who submit written feedback outside of these meetings or write us an email or call us up, we're going to be revising that engagement strategy that you're looking at. And then we're going to begin implementing pieces of it. And one of the first things we want to do is create that advisory committee so that we have that inclusive body that can be a part of the planning process. Once we convene that advisory committee, we're starting with the planning process. So right now we're preparing everything. And once we convene the committee, we're looking at about 2 years to develop this integrated management plan. So that's kind of the time frame. So we have a lot to do, and we want to get started. So how to provide feedback on all this? You can certainly, through our discussions, which are to follow this, you can also send us something in writing by email or by mail, or if you really want, you can also call me and we can talk further about this stuff. So there's a number of different ways that you can provide feedback. The deadline for feedback is April 16th. Then we'll be revising this and starting to move forward. So that's all.
Thanks. Let's take a 5-minute break. And when we come back, you can grab a cup of coffee and a cookie if you like, or whatever. When we come back, we'll make 3 groups. And the planning office and steering committee representatives will go into each group so we can have a more focused discussion about all of the things that you've just heard. Okay, so 5 minutes. Help yourself to something, grab some fresh air, whatever you need.